Hello, everyone. Myself, Namrata from Level Up, and joining us today for Open Tech is Mahir Madhani. Mahir has led marketing for the ACM student chapter. With his background is business development at AIE. He brings a unique perspective on scaling tech communities. So, Mahir, we are really happy to have you here, and now the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Hi guys, I'm Mahir. I run Puri Tales, which is a intraclinic management system for veterinarians. We also run farm management systems for poultry farms and cattle farms. Today, thank you so much, by the way, guys, for inviting me out. Today, I'm going to explain how Gen AI in general can help you start your own startup. And can help you validate your entire idea at absolutely zero cost. Deploy it, get testings done, and realize whether that's a business you want to pursue or not. So I hope my screen is visible. um, let's start with how validation of an idea is so expensive in today's day and age, where getting an idea is super simple but validating the idea is not. You require like very expensive MVPs. I remember when we were going for the demo for Puri Tales, uh, we were quoted around 4.5 5 lakh rupees at that point in time to just create an MVP. Obviously we didn't pay that money up, but that is what we got to know about the industry, that this sum to create an MVP is super expensive. It's time consuming because you need to really talk to people, get to know what is actually required. A thing that ideally can take say about a minute or two goes to say about a year or two. So with Gen AI especially, it takes it does not take a lot of time. And then there are agency costs, and most founders burn their money just to start the entire product up. And Gen AI and so many tools out there, something like Cursor, Anti-Gravity, Replit, all of these things are making your life so much simpler. So why not use Gen AI? So how ideally it was working, and that's what we saw, and that's even how we also failed into our first startup also, was we had an idea, we had an assumption, we created hypothesis just by talking about it with each other and people who weren't of industries, not no industry experts essentially. We created an MVP. We spent nearly 6 to 8 months in creating that entire MVP. Then we went to industry experts for discussions, and we figured out this thing does not really work in the market. So we again went back to the MVP development. We were in this loop, and then we went into the feasibility, investability, and purchasability checks, that whether people are actually going to put in money into our company or not, whether people are actually going to buy the service or the product from us or not. And and that was such a big problem, because by then we'd already spent a year into creating that entire product. It took a lot of time, it took a lot of money into creating say about a proper full blown product. And then getting to know that this does not work. And then but that was a mistake that we made. But people, then they build their backend and then they take their advanced payment for fund operations. This is a very idealistic scenario, but most of the times you spend a lot of money into MVP creations, and just getting the right thing down rather than going out in the public and getting to know the opinion. How Gen AI is going to compress this year-long journey, like 12 months journey, how it compressed it into days when we had our second startup. So the entire guesswork that we were doing, that this is going to work, this actually happens, and this is something that I think or I feel that the industry will accept. That entire thing went away when there was structured hypothesis and there was no conversation. There was something that we had on paper, that this has to work. These are the companies that have earlier done. It's about manual research that we used to do back in the day, that who's doing what. Now there's AI assisted market intelligence. I'll tell you one tool which we used a lot was Reddit. Reddit gives you the best form of market research and market intelligence in general. We ran a lot of scraping tools. We put links onto Gemini Deep Research, Notebook LM, all of these tools, just to know what the public wants, just to know what the public is willing to pay, just to know basic things that earlier we wouldn't, like we were just guessing on. MVPs have now become super simple and easy to make. There are so many no code platforms, low code platforms like Bubble.io, Anti Gravity, Cursor. Google has launched nearly 22 of its AI programs, just to help founders create their MVPs. AWS is helping a lot for founders to start with their things. So just looking at no code and low code resources, even if you're not a technical person, it helps you at least validate and start with your own idea. Random feedback. I was recently looking up at this particular website, which really helped us out, called as Survey Sparrow. Survey Sparrow does amazing random feedback. Like, you really do not need to go to industry experts. It acts as an industry expert, and it will give you like real time validation, because it picks up their entire knowledge base is from public resources like Reddit and so about Google, all of these places, and that's how they're giving you real time validation about something like this could work or not. So these are all the Gen AI tools. I was just name dropping most of them, but try and research about these things. These will help you validate what essentially you're doing. So what I feel is that if you want to start with Gen AI, I have created like a 5-6 stepper thing, like how till deployments, about how can you go ahead. So just to create hypothesis, we are all aware of these three tools. So about ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, or Gemini. These are one of the best sources, open sources out there, that can at least structure your thought, that can give you an idea of what you're actually thinking, put it down on paper, so that if you're actually sharing it with, say, about your co-founder or to be co-founder or a partner of yours, you all know whether you all are on the same page or not, just before establishing a business or an MVP, or taking it to the next step. Knowing what you actually want to do is super important. Who is going to be the buyer? Who are we solving the problem for? Does this problem exist in the market, or are we just thinking about it? What are the existing solutions that exist in the market? These are a few questions that you need to start asking yourself before creating any product, or before going sort of into the field of entrepreneurship. So these are all the best tools that can at least give you an idea and structure your thoughts. Super important before you start any business. um, whether you want to know whether these things are right, not right, get a market research, get to know whether the market has something like this. As I earlier mentioned, Reddit is one of those tools, and Product Hunt. These are the two tools which I have personally used and have gotten the best form of results in that, just to know whether what are the problems, what are the gaps in the market, getting to know what the sales funnel is, getting to know just basic ideas about your product and about your software, be it anything in a product space or a service space. Perplexity also helps a lot. I really think it hallucinates a lot, but it's also a great tool. If you need multiple opinions, and if you want to create like an agentic workflow, where a particular open source is doing something for you and another is doing something for you, fantastic. You can create multiple open sources just to be different advisors for you. Another thing that I learned from someone who was an N18 developer, he's like, just have multiple open source tools. They will give you multiple advices, and then just choose what you want to. That's like a founder's choice. But Reddit and Product Hunt are the two softwares which have worked very well for me, and they're free and open source again. Um, this will actually help you get to know who your competitors are, what is the price that people are actually willing to pay, what are the problems that the current softwares have, that you can sort of create an alternate to, so that you've got that as a USP. And it will just get you your SWOT analysis, as we say: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and problems, and threats. So these are the things that you can develop, and if from that you can just get an output whether you should go ahead with the product or not, or just pivot from that particular thing. um, then we've got our architecture and workflow. This particular slide, in my opinion, is super important when you're actually going to raise money. And there are tools that I have used, something that I'm presenting this PPT on also, GenSpark, a beautiful AI tool that can put in an entire PPT together, of actually your thoughts. Like, I have put in like 3 lines of prompt, and it's given me a great sort of a PPT. Obviously, I had to make changes also in this. But There are so many tools that can help you get your architecture in flow also. Something like Whimsical and Micro AI, fantastic for your architecture diagrams. Just to say about something like N8N does, that's what even these people do. Just to create your architecture, to know what you're exactly doing in your software. And it's very easy, and it's very important when you're focusing on team building also. When you're doing team building, and you've got an heredity system with you, an entire software, it's super important for the new people in your team also to know what kind of a software you're using, what is the architecture of the software, so it's easier for them to develop onto that. So these are the things which are important on admin level majorly. And lucid chart is for workflow visualization, that the data is going to come in from here, it's going to go this place, this place, this place, and that's the end place where the data is going to be stored or going to be reflected to. A very nice way to explain to, say, but a newbie or an investor who does not understand tech in general, that how the data is flowing. Super important, and we've used this a lot when it comes down to explaining people, especially doctors, because that's what our concerned target is, about how their data is flowing and how their data is safe with us. Such visualization tools help you actually sell a product faster and help you gain investment also and trust also very simply and easily. um, Super important for your growth, team building growth, and to raise money and to get user trust also, super important. Then we come to, like, actually once you validated the first three steps, and you know that this is what you want to actually do, and this is the product, and let's get into the market, let's create an MVP, and let's go ahead. You've got multiple tools, you've got Canva, basic UI stuff. Again, that's not something I suggest until unless you've got a premium version of Canva, because the free one's not that great. I don't like that much. Figma is great, but again, you need to be skilled at it. Cursor is very good, beautiful, when you want to, like, just get your front end, your UI sorted with respect to an MVP you've gotten. Showing this to people, showing this to people, people might think that this is actually a real product out there. And super quick with its demos, like, it does not take even 10 minutes to get an MVP ready. There's Replit, great for deployment, testing your software, testing bugs into your software. Obviously this is production level, but if once your software is in production, Replit does a great job when it comes down to just testing your product, load testing, A/B testing, all of those things, and it's great for deployment also. You've got a Bubble, again, it's a low code platform, I would say. Drag and drop, again, something super interactive. Good level coders who like coding stuff and all do not usually like Bubble, because it's pretty the UI is pretty easy, and these people are used to sort of coding on a much more complicated level. So Bubble, even I personally don't like. Coding to a certain extent would be better for me too, but Bubble is an option that you all can go for too. This, what it does is that it actually puts your thoughts onto a real life product. It makes you really visualize whether you want something to look like this or not. It's super important, again, when it comes down to validating your idea on a level where you are confident on your own idea. You can actually visualize your idea at this point in time, and it's easier to show and sell. Super simple demo. I'm going to show you of anti-gravity also ahead in the course, how anti-gravity is going to actually help you out with respect to creating short demos, small demos. um, and automation, I mean, N8 and make.com, Zapier, all of these are beautiful platforms when it comes down to basic level automations with WhatsApp, Google Sheets. If you're just selling automation, right? There are many people might consider N8 as paid, but N8 also has a open source workflow automation, which I've mentioned over here. It's like something you have to download on your laptop, and it works free of cost. Make.com is pretty much free for its first 1,000 automations, if I'm not wrong. So again, things that are free, and you can validate your idea at least for free of cost, and probably once sales start coming in, you can pay for these softwares. But it's beautiful in order to sort of get your automation workflows in place, and for the client, the person you are actually dealing with, for them to actually visualize everything. What I've realized is, if you're in a startup and you want to make any sort of a sale, visualization is the most important thing in order to make a sale. The client needs to see how their data is flowing, because in today's day, everyone is somewhere or the other sort of scared about their data, whether it'll be sold to say about a different country, or it's not stored in the right way, or it's going to be leaked, or it's going to be hacked into. So tools which help you visualize things, super important to make a sale. These things actually get the person to trust you more. So these are the things. And Anit and make.com, you're not like a developer or anything. Super simple, very interactive when it comes down to its user journeys, and very self-explanatory. So yeah, that's for your automation. And it's about, if at all you're a solopreneur, and you do not have a team of your own. As I earlier told you, we met a dude. He had like Chat GPT doing one thing, Perplexity doing another thing, Gemini Deep Research doing its just research work, market research basis, used to extract stuff from Reddit, put it onto Notebook LM, get all the data, and sort of curate it via Gemini. So he'd created this entire chain for himself just to do market research, get to know pricing strategies, get to know quite a few other things with respect to his own business. These give you like a lot of confidence in terms of a founder, especially when you're a solopreneur and you do not have a lot of people giving you advice and suggestions in general. You need a second opinions. AI agents at times do a beautiful job. At times I've seen Claude not being a yes man too. Claude actually goes against your hypothesis and brings in its own thought process. I like Claude when it comes down to coding logic and it's about policy checks and all of that thing. It's very good with its theoretical knowledge. On the other hand, ChatGPT and Perplexity, I've not found that great when it comes down to policy and logic checking with respect to code, or with respect to say about just policies that are there in the market that need to say about IP compliances and all of those things. ChatGPT is great when it comes down to just getting a strategy in place, like what should be the sales funnel to say about execute a particular MVP that I've gotten in place, or a business idea. Perplexity is great when it comes down to in-depth research and market research, getting to know what the market is looking for, and especially data extracted from Notebook element put into Perplexity. One of the best results you'll ever find. That's pretty much it when it comes down to your AI agents. When you want to just make a team of AI agents, beautiful idea when you're a solopreneur again. Again, now since most of the things are done when it comes down to your own personal level, it's super important now not to guesswork. Now it's time to go to the field and actually validate your idea. You've gotten your hypothesis, you've gotten your MVP, you've gotten the workflow architecture in place, you've gotten a pricing idea by so many agents coming into place. Now what you actually have to do is just go and talk to experts. That's the only place where you will understand how your MVP is actually performing. It'll be easier to make a sale. Going to people, actually talking to them, getting to know their ideas, and making those changes. And when we use tools like anti-gravity cursor, changes aren't really big. It usually does not take a lot of time. And when you're going with such products, be very very confident on what your product is, because you believe in it, and you have to go with a lot of clarity of thought because you've done your research. You know what the market needs. And most of the times the MVP makes a sale on itself. You do not need to hard sell, because you there is a lot of research that's been backed up when it comes down to your own sort of a product. So that's with validation at the end needs to be done by humans and the industry experts only. That'll be the last step when it comes down to getting your MVP into place. I'll be showing you all a live demo on anti-gravity in action, of how a hypothesis has been converted into workflow, and then an MVP creation, and then a validation loop. Probably I'll just show you on how an MVP is created. The rest can be seen later on. Yeah, that's my startup playbook. I'll be sharing this soon. Let's start with anti-gravity. So I have just made a prompt. I put this on Chat GPT. That I want to make an anti-gravity prompt on creating a carbon credits trading platform. I put in the scope that I want to list down carbon credits. What are the different type of carbon credits? You can track your own PNL. Basic structures that ChatGPT themselves has given me. That okay, fine. This is I had put in a very basic prompt to ChatGPT. They've given me most of the formulas that need to be calculated when it comes down to how carbon credits are traded, and everything and anything that's needed over here. So what we do is we just go here. Um, so yeah, so essentially, sadly, I can't show you how anti-gravity actually works. But if you can just see this part of the screen, so this is basically an anti-gravity prompt that I had created. I am sorry, I'm pretty sure you all won't be able to see it. It was like an MVP scope that I had created of all the essential features that I wanted onto the MVP for carbon credits. I wanted to make a carbon credit trading platform with all the mathematical calculations, high, low, close, open, all of those things. What are the different types of credits, carbon credits over here? The credit ID. Um, the project type, because in this what happens is that there are multiple projects and there are multiple ratings in general, like issuer rating, as you can see. So what project has what rating, you can figure out over here itself. There are simple mathematical calculations that you will find easily over here. So essentially I just made a great prompt when it comes down to knowing my idea, that this is my idea, and just create a prompt. And I'd gotten this idea from Reddit itself. So what we usually do with Reddit is that you just go to the news section, you create you get all these Reddit stories, and you get those Reddit pages, also subreddits. So you just click on a subreddit, and you get their link, you paste it onto notebook LM, and you will get an entire summary of what the conversations of that particular chat are. And on that, I realized that a budding topic on Reddit is something about carbon credits. Reddit is that place where people are super active when it comes down to finance, money, real-time news, geopolitics, and all of those things. Great source for a person who is inclined towards business and business opportunities. It works really well for you. So I took that idea, I put it onto Gemini just to know more about this, and got a prompt from Gemini to put on ChatGPT, where ChatGPT gave me this entire prompt for anti-gravity. Anti-gravity is super simple. You just have to sort of go on and you just have to type anti-gravity in general, and there will be an option to download anti-gravity on its own. I will be showing you the it's very simple to download anti-gravity. So you just go onto the first website that you are seeing over here. Sorry. Yeah, you just go to a first and you just download from here itself. It's super simple to sort of go ahead from here. If you've got a Mac, if you've got a Windows, depending on what you've got, it'll be pretty easy, and you can go on from a journey from there and create an MVP. Sadly, I could not show you what anti-gravity does and what's the power of anti-gravity. Probably that'll be for some time else. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I hope you all have liked the lecture and have understood what's the power of Gen AI when it comes down to creating MVPs and creating a startup idea in general and validating it. Thank you so much, guys. That'll be it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mahir. That was incredibly insightful. And I really think the way you simplified those concepts was truly valuable for our audience.
Thank you
So
so much,
thank you
guys.
so very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And to everyone watching, thank you so much for joining us at Level Up. And we will see you the next time.